This is recording in progress. This is Andrew Williams Jr. Today is April 20th, 2022, and we have the honor of having Professor Marcela Oliva. In addition to her other hats, she is actually the founder of Encounter LA, which was the launching point for the Encounter think tank, and also what is now called the AHIABGA Network on Facebook. So we started out with 2 people in Los Angeles. Now we have 2,000 people around the world.
Wow.
Welcome, Professor Marcela Oliva.
Thank you so much for having me. And so let me make sure. Do you think, okay, there we go. So Encounter LA came from the idea of connecting the outside world to the classroom, and most important, to bring what is called community-based curriculum. Basically, whatever we do in our architecture, engineering, construction program, we wanted to have real projects. We have people from all over the world with degrees. We have outside of the box thinkers from South LA, Watts, Pico, and we wanted to create something that had meaning and purpose. So we created the Encounter and really became explosive, meaning there's a great demand because the community, they don't want to be only voices, but they want to be designers. They want to be builders. They want to be active participants. They don't only want to be cheerleading. So I literally have to this day a list of people that want to work with us so we can help them with a visualization, help them with a smart map. Now with the metaverse, everything's exploding. I'm going to bring it back, but we took some time off. The COVID, but also became super overwhelming. And I wanted to make sure that we designed products that were of high quality. We did a memorial for the Black Panthers. We retrofitted a parcel in South Central for a multi-purpose use. We did tiny houses. We did, I want to share with you guys 2 projects that recently got published by Trimble Construction and SketchUp and sent all over the world. I also wrote an article called Green Makerspaces, how we have to have these green makerspaces all over our communities. So but the urgency today is that I have a course starting in June where we're gonna be making a Watts nature walk. Just like we transform an area near the freeway on 28 in 7 weeks, we want to transform all the possible pedestrian paths near the trains on Watts. So if I have a few minutes, can I share a few things?
This is your time.
Did you describe Watts, Professor Olivia, or are you going to?
No, I will describe,
Okay.
or maybe very quickly. I think
I thought I missed it.
No, maybe we should introduce ourselves 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Mark and Lisa, you can tell me a little bit about you, please.
Well, Mark, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm a founder of Carbonshot Earth and a co-founder of UnityNet as well. I'll speak about one first, Carbonshot. Carbonshot, our work is cut out in the sense that we're looking to deploy regenerative economics. Now, when I say regenerative economics, it's not about taking the current economic system that we have, but is it possible to build an alternate economic system? Now, it's not, when I say economic systems are made out of communities, out of people, right? When you have a group of people together, you form a community. When you form a community, you form systems of trading. And when you form systems of trading, you essentially form economics, right? And profit and all that stuff that comes, or capitalism that comes, is built foundationally on economics, and economics is foundationally built on trading, on value creation that happens fundamentally within communities. Now, I'm trying to move the compass from here to here, the alternate system, the alternate ways of doing things. And One of the alternatives is the metaverse, but there's a lot of action which is going to happen in the metaverse. And that is something that we are loading ourselves to move on to as well.
30 more seconds.
Okay, I'll give it back. Don't worry, I'll give it back. I think it'll be great to know you as we go on conversations and further conversations as well. But I'll leave the floor to Lisa and Michael.
No, we need 30 seconds on part 2, the UnityNet.
Oh, okay. So UnityNet is a very powerful organization that we are building. It's a network of people, communities, organizations that we are putting together, where the idea is that we want to deploy regenerative systems, regenerative economics, and making sure that no community, no people are left behind from this, whether it is in continental America or continental Africa or continental Asia. This is massive. The work that we're trying to accomplish with UnityNet is massive.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll stop. We can always have more conversations. I can go on talking about, both the firms that we're engaged with. And Andrew is a pillar for UnityNet as well, a major pillar for UnityNet. And
Lisa, Anise Stefan, please step up.
Okay, my name is Lisa Anise Sutfin, and I'm a professional educator and dance sport judge who just wanted an after-school program. Now I am a cultural ambassador for the International Dance Council Division, CID UNESCO, that I was drafted to in 2013. I spent 14 years inside social service and other government systems, building dance-based fitness programs for every age in need, until their studies proved that the compliance rates for people in those classes were far higher than the norm, and the benefits much greater, not just physical, but social and emotional. So now what I'm doing, I'm the pivot point in an internal war between the World Dance Council and the World Dance Sport Federation. I've been working to connect partners around the globe for the purpose of building a structure for hip hop cultural preservation groups so that they can run their own dance. Breaking is going to be a medal sport in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Presently, the World Dance Sport Federation is trying to co-opt it, or basically appropriate breaking away from its source, which of course we already know when you do that, it's like pulling a planet by the roots. So hip hop preservation should be running breaking. We aim to show enough of a grid by sometime in June to be able to file an injunction against the World Dance Sport Federation and the IOC to cease and desist their cultural appropriation. So
also make sure both of you put your contact information in the chat. And Michael Harris, you're the last one here, but initially this whole conversation with Marcela began with a report just yesterday that unfortunately during the pandemic, community college suffered the greatest decline in students of African male descent. And that's what led us to this conversation today. But Michael, please briefly introduce yourself, and then let's proceed from there with Marcela.
Yeah, my name is Michael Harris, born and raised in Sacramento, California, and I might as well have been living in the deep bush of Alabama. My mother hails from Choctaw County, and my father, he's a Washita Nation in Louisiana. And I have been, I guess you would say, the DNA has allowed me to embrace my full Africanness through the lens of indigenous cultures here in the United States. And I have been blessed with being the director of Black agriculture for about 20 years now. So I'm all in on this, what I'm hearing so far, the dance while we work in the field. monetizing the production utility and educating the children, you know, as the women have a baby strapped to their back. I'm all in.
Also, tell us about this event statewide in California that you've drafted us to help promote.
Well, in the case, some of you may not have known, but when I was born, the leaders of Africa decided that everybody Black on the planet should be unified. That was in 1963. And now that 1.6 billion people are part of the UN Permanent Forum for People of African Descent, it's important that we throw the party here in California, since the United Nations was founded here in San Francisco. But we'll be at the state capitol to kick off Africa Unity Week on May the 23rd. And His Excellency Andrew has agreed to host it, so everybody on the planet can have access to it. They can get on the Zoom call.
All right, Marcela, back to you. Ball to your court. And you can screen share, so the floor is yours.
Beautiful. So it's an honor to be with you and the entire network. I so deeply appreciate Andrew and the tenacity. This is a real crisis. I'm Professor Marcela Oliva, Architecture and Environmental Design at LA Trade Tech in the core of Los Angeles. And I noticed I was hired by a Black president, and he told me, make sure you teach these technologies to the Black community. And I wanted to make sure that this happened 30 years later. One of the reasons I think people are dropping, not only Blacks, but of people of color from, this is a crisis also in higher education, is because education has to be connected with meaning and purpose. Whatever you learn has to be connected with meaning and purpose. It can be, and it has to be holistic. You know, STEAM is not only about STEAM, it's about humanity. Dance is not only about dance, it's about geometry of your body. All the knowledge is interconnected and interdependent. And that kind of philosophy had led me to have the highest number of Blacks, African Americans, the most polite term that you would like me to use, to transfer into universities and to find jobs that matter, that are creative. I believe that our people of color can be scientists, can be engineers, can be doctors, and that has been my role model. I'm going to start in reverse because when if you can make me the host, Andrew, so I can share the screen. So I'm gonna
start to share the screen.
No, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. So you gotta go click, put your cursor on my tile, and then go right click and then make me the host. If you put your cursor on my face, you right click, okay, now I'm in. Nope, still not. So again, put the cursor on my face, right click and make me the host. Still says host disable. Okay, now it says I am the host. Let's see, yes, here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna start kind of like reverse to what I wanna share with you today. I am super excited to share that Trimble Construction is one to the largest construction companies in the United States. And this went out to 3 million people a few days ago. And it says Green in LA, Green Workforce Collaboration, built in the Metaverse and real life. So this site got built in 7 weeks. This is the art of our local artist, Alfonso, and we converted this deteriorated space into a beautiful green area. And we did it with utilizing the geometry from the piece of art, and each of these polygons represent a piece of land that was taken from the indigenous or the ranchos. So it had all these geopolitics embedded. We study the water, we study landscape, we study wind surfaces and so on. So we feel super proud. And the idea is that basically exactly what, let me remember his name, Mark was talking about. We gotta do the 15-minute walk. We gotta have all the services. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about this new economy, the urban interventions that exist into the metaverse. So this is all done. This is the way it used to look, right? And these are the different proposals that the community came with. And this is the Metaverse. This is kind of like, as you guys know, what is the Metaverse? So basically is a platform that has all these different technologies. For me, the most important one that I think is the one making the machine work is the digital twins. This is recent, probably a few years. It used to be that all the softwares that architects and engineers use, they couldn't go into the gamification platforms. They were not readable to each other. In the last 2-3 years, now we can bring all our software into a platform where you can interact with avatars, you can bring the blockchain, you can bring digital library. So all these technologies are what it makes the Metaverse. And these are the urban interventions. We believe that every community should have access to good food, should have access to mobility, should have a place to perform and create, should have a place to heal, should have green spaces. So what I've been doing for 25 years, having the community as our client, I've been developing urban interventions to heal our communities. All our communities, even I see the wealthy communities, sometimes they're missing one of these interventions. So here you can see and it got published. I have here, and then here's a little bit. So this is already in the Metaverse. What is the Metaverse? Basically is bringing the software that architects and engineers use, and this is ready now to be experienced as an avatar. So technically somebody can go in there and experiment this as an avatar. So when we are communicating dialogue, these could also have a virtual NFT gallery. So now you can start putting anything you want into these spaces. So I'm super excited. The website here is called www.greeninla.com. Believe it or not, I couldn't believe nobody had this address, greeninla.com. So this is how it looks now.
So should I call you Olivia or Professor Olivia or
Professor Oliva? I like Professor Oliva.
Okay. So Professor Olivia, this Greening LA is a project that you have undertaken along with others.
Yeah, it's a very complex collaboration. It was done. Here you can see all the players. It was Caltrans, Metro, the artists, the Nile Foundation. So it was very complex, but yeah, I was the leader. I was the head leader. I'm the one that brought them all together. Mayors Garcetti, innovation team, the United States Green Building Council. By the way, I'm a board member. This is probably the most important organization for the green movement for architects, engineers, and contractors, and I'm a board member. So I brought all these partners together and we did it. And I feel super excited, super happy. And the reason I really need, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't know about it in our communities. And I need help letting people know. And guess what we're going to be doing next? We are going to we're going to be, and it's online, so it's not mandatory. We're going to be doing Watts Nature Walk. We're going to be doing Watts Nature Walk. And this Nature Walk, and this is a class, I'm going to put it on the chat. I'll put this handout. And all of you guys are welcome to join the class. No prerequisite. You can come as a designer, you can come as a Metaverse expert, you can come, like, even if you are into performing arts. One of the urban interventions that we have is bringing stages, bringing amphitheaters. So it really covers every single profession. And we're developing all these warehouse of interventions that I'll share with you. So I'm going to be sharing, do you mind? Oh, say that again? 4?
Hello, Ms. Oliva, how are you?
Hi.
I know you're in a class.
No, I'm a presenter. Can you just give me 5 minutes? I'll be right there. Sorry about that, guys. So we're gonna be doing Watts, and this is the train tracks here. You can see it. It's about 3 miles total because we're gonna do both sides. And we're gonna start here. There's a healing garden right here. I'm gonna show you in a second. So we have this class, and I love for you guys, here's the connection to Green in LA. And I think I can show you, beginning to put it all in 3D. And this is going to be the area that we're gonna be doing, right? So that's the track. This is the healing garden. This is the skateboard park. So we're gonna retrofit all these areas with vertical trellises, with cooling centers, with urban farming, with amphitheaters. So because there's little pockets here. So we have the pedestrian walk, but we also have these kind of leftovers that we can actually retrofit into an outdoor activity. And the last thing I need to share with you is how are we organizing these urban interventions? And for that, I have this mind map that I'll be happy to share, right? So for healing, we have health centers. For green spaces, we have pocket parks, exhibits, galleries, amphitheaters. Remember, because these are all based with the United Nations and with NASA. I've been developing these urban interventions, makerspaces, street furniture. For food, we have housing. For shelter, we have buildings. For food, we have street vending carts, urban gardens. For mobility, we have charging stations, bus shelters, bike racks, and so on. So this is what I believe. So we're gonna make some kind of a game where people can actually drag and drop. And what I'm super excited, and this is why I'm being hiding, Andrew. Now we have an ADU where you can go to this drive and you have already all the way to construction documents. So you can see here for the tiny houses, the same. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing for my next 10 years. We're gonna design, so you can literally, that's why the metaverse is not only affecting virtual reality, but how virtual reality affects reality. So that's that. And then last thing, I'm just gonna show my mind map, my PowerPoint, and then I'll have a lot of questions for. So as I said, I am, this is where we're located, in the heart of LA. And we call it, here we are, one of my students call it BLA. This is the challenge. This is when they hired me, right? By hand, all the way to now the metaverse. This is the crisis, $91 billion in this part of LA, and why our neighborhoods still look this way. So these are more, I'll be happy to meet another time. We teach teachers. And this is the whole idea of how we look at the metaverse at the office building, but that's what we want to do, how we can actually move. See, this is a, let me go back. Cancel. Making my computer. Here we go. So this is how we can do it. So when we design the nature walk, the community can actually look at multiple alternatives. This is the tiny house. These are the stages. These are the outdoor spaces. So literally we're creating all the elements. These are recycled cardboard chairs. And basically what we have done is here create, look at the beautiful spaces. This is what we did for the 5-Point Youth Foundation. So this is the warehouse. These are the warehouses. And these are vertical trellises. This is what we're gonna put before and after for the nature walk. And what I need your help is to help me tell people about the class that we're gonna start, and no prerequisites, and severely, we've been wanting to work together for a long time. Just go ahead and take the class with all your students. It's gonna be Watts, and I would love to work with all of you guys. So that's a little bit, I have a class coming up, but I'll be happy to follow up with all of you guys. And I do have about 5 minutes for questions.
Excellent, thank you. Also, just to let everyone know, if you put your contact information in, I'll coordinate your schedule to let us know when we can do a follow-up.
Please.
The floor is open, guys. You got it for 5 minutes.
Is Lisa going ahead or should I?
Go, you're talking, so talk.
Okay, so this is phenomenal, Professor Oliva. I love what you're doing, and this is flowing straight into some of the visions that we've been having, per se, from Carbonshot and Unity Net's perspective as well. And you're slightly ahead, way ahead of the game. In fact, I would say not slightly ahead. I would look to have a conversation perhaps outside of this forum if possible. Andrew,
Yes,
I first need to
course.
thank you for getting Professor Oliva onto this platform and exposing her over here to us as well. There's a lot of I think there'll be a lot of conversations that we're going to have with you, Professor Oliva, because
30 seconds.
I'll engage again.
Lisa Anise?
Yeah.
Lisa Anise?
This is phenomenal.
Lisa, now's your time.
Lisa, you're on mute.
I'm gonna put all the links on the chat too.
All right,
right.
love
Please
you.
do. Please
Oh,
do.
thank you, Professor Oliva. I'm looking forward to connecting with you as I'm connecting hip hop federations, organizations, and individual groups around the globe in order to build the structure to complete this battle. And I've got a whole host of people in California, as well as indigenous groups, who would love to connect with you as well. So yes, I put my information in the chat. Feel free to take a look at our site or just send me email.
Yes,
And
Andrew, would you mind sending me a link on all of
course,
this so I get
of
to know
course.
about them?
You know how I do it. Sir Bailey, you came in last. Do you want to have a chance to say something before she leaves? And this will continue after she leaves. But Sir Bailey, do you want to say hello?
I want to say, as always, thank you. It's so lovely to see you. George Zabo, peace. Let's break dance, Miss Lisa. I had a conversation with Chester Whitmore, Miss Lisa, and others in regard to bringing this dance thing forward. Michael Harris, I reached out to you in the chat and asked for you to contact me. The Living Well Tour plans to come up and work with We Grow Urban Farms, thanks to Miss Lisa Anise. And as always, like you said, it's been a long time coming, Professor, but I believe I may be able. When does the class start?
Start June 7th. So all of you
June.
guys enroll in the class and we can design all of these.
Okay,
Excellent.
I want to talk to you about the walking program too. I'm doing some work with the Algebra Project, Rest in Power, to Bob Moses, civil rights activist around the Voting Rights Act, and his daughter has taken up the mantle, and so I'm excited about that. Excited about so much. Thank you for allowing me into the space, and have a beautiful day, everyone.
I'll see you
Thank
guys
you,
all
Professor.
soon. I'm gonna share with you.
My mother-in-law is just looking forward to spending time with you, so she has to get into the class. She's about 80 years old, but really engaged in social activism still. The Martin Luther King International Institute is her program. So you remember meeting her?
Of course, I share my phone number, and please, yeah, let's continue this conversation. Thank you so much, Andrew.
I love you. Talk to you soon.
I love you too. Bye.
We're not gone yet, people. We're still here.